Okay, so we are now going to be covering Lanterns on HBO.
Yes.
Season one, it is starring Kyle Chandler, which 65 is what he is. And Aaron Pierre. And we have a few other people that look like they're going to show up later in the season, but that's only if you saw the trailers for what the season is to bring. Because I think so far they've been like the only trailer we've ever really gotten was the first episode, and then they kind of released a longer trailer for what's coming in the season.
Correct.
But episode one is called Pilot, and obviously it's the pilot episode of the season, but it also plays into the fact that Hal Jordan is himself a pilot. Um, and we start off in 1996, but that's when we find out that in 1986, Hal Jordan was given the mantle of Green Lantern. And we find
Yes.
this out because he's being interviewed on 60 Minutes, which you then see that Jon Stewart, that name just throws me every time. Jon Stewart is watching it with his brothers. They're all in fear of their father coming home and catching them watching TV. Not really ever explained why. Maybe they'll get into that later, but his father shows up, asks, basically, do you know his name? John says, Hal. He takes him outside, puts an apple on his head, and asks him if he's afraid, which I think you kind of get the distinct feeling, plus with a phone call later that Hal places to his father, is that his father's very much grooming him for this position.
Yes.
And I don't, is it like, I don't know, I have to follow my sword in this. I don't know much about Jon Stewart. I know actually very little about Green Lantern in the DC Comics. Is that what he's like? Do you know much?
I don't know,
Okay,
unfortunately.
so we're
I
all,
am a Green Lantern fan, even though I
mm-hmm,
feel like, because I like the concept of basically your imagination being, well, the brain is obviously the power, but the
sure.
imagination being, and I'm a John Stewart fan, but most of my info from him comes from the Justice League Unlimited show from the early 2000s.
Okay.
And they don't really dig into it. So I wish I could tell you. I was hoping you had the answer.
Well, it looks like both of us are going to have to probably do a little bit of homework as we go into
Yes.
this series. But we he shoots the like I said, he shoots the apple off of John's head and is like, and is pleased with him, and so you kind of get this distinct feeling that his dad is wanting him to, be picked next, or at least be up for consideration next. Then we fast forward and we jump into 2016, and we are met with a grown-up Jon Stewart at this point, and he is being late picked up by a hungover Howard, who at this point is very like talks about like, is he a has been? I don't know. Can you be a has been if you still have the powers?
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, like you're older now, but you're not a has-been.
You're very cynical and maybe very jaded to the job, but I don't know if has been is the right
Right.
word for him. Obviously you get the feeling between these two that there's not a lot. It's not a very warm relationship. It's very trainee on trainee. Um, we're guessing that the the council has chosen Jon Stewart to be the next one coming up, and that Hal just isn't very pleased about anybody talking about his retirement.
Yeah, and I think so. Like as like I alluded to 30 seconds ago, I don't know a ton, like a bunch of the lore of
Sure.
John Stewart, but I do know like the Ring chooses people. I do know that the Green Lantern Corps, the leaders are dicks in every iteration I've seen them in. They're just very one narrow-minded. But I didn't know that while one person is still alive and well and kicking, it's already decided who the successor is going to be. Like that kind of threw me off. And I am sure as the show continues, we will figure stuff out. But to me, and again, someone with more knowledge on Green Lantern can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not saying this is law, but from my understanding, it does not pick the next person while the other Lantern is still alive.
Right. It's yeah. So yeah, like very clueless. Both of us, admittedly, are going very clueless into this, and doesn't matter because we'll get into your thoughts in the show later. But So basically they're bickering back and forth, and you can tell that just Hal is wanting some sort of reaction out of John, which he gives him by jumping out of the car, placing the ring on the dashboard, jumping out of the car, and leaving John to fend for himself in a car crash. He as Hal, obviously we know that Hal isn't killed in this car crash. He's walking back to find Hal at a taco stand, but is met with his his iCloud backup,
His hologram.
his hologram consciousness. Um, and he's like, basically, I haven't uploaded my memories. I'm supposed to do this weekly. I haven't done it probably now for 10 years. But I need to give myself a message, and that it is that Hale is in Rushville, Nebraska. Sorry about that. This means nothing to Hal, obviously, but when he meets back up with Hal at the
Means nothing to John.
I'm sorry, yes, means nothing to John, but when he meets back up with Hal, this instant he tells him Hal flies off, and John is left to figure out how to get to Rushville, Nebraska
And
without
pay
him.
the bill. Hopefully he brought his card with him and it didn't lose it when he jumped out of when the car crashed.
Right. Hopefully this was all tucked in his pocket very
Yes.
safely. Yes. Um, John does meet him there, and it's at a high school football field where obviously a mass shooting is happening. There's I think 4 dead bodies on the football field.
Yeah.
John as John is walking up, we don't learn until a little bit later that he is assessing everything as he's walking up. He meets with Hal and is told they're doing their thing on the locals are doing their thing on the field. I've been basically told to sit here. Here comes Sheriff Carey to tell us that we've got to sit on the sidelines because this just appears as if it's just a human mass shooting. And she doesn't understand why they're there.
Yeah.
She says this is terrestrial, this is not extraterrestrial. He's like, I'm telling you, these are aliens. And they give all the reasons why. Like, there's no mass hysteria, there's no crying people, no one seems to care. And she's like,
In a small town where everybody knows everybody.
Right, in a small thing. And she's kind of like, I did hear a podcast about this, and one of the show creators / or writers is from Nebraska. And he wanted to make it very clear that he did not want the people from Nebraska being portrayed as unintelligent heads, which is why we have Sheriff Carey catching on very quickly and already kind of a step ahead of where Hal and John, the theories that they're presenting her. He's like, listen, we have to go home. I'm not about to portray my hometown as a bunch of
right
ignorant kind of people. So she kind of lets on that she understands, but she's trying to calm the situation at the moment. And then if she just lets him do that, he can get involved. But John kind of makes it his issue to go down there and say, hey, we've been spotting and she's like, don't even tell me. I know there's a guy over there. I'm trying to make sure he's not spooked. And he's like, I messed up, didn't I? And as he says this, the guy takes off running. Am I good so far? Is there anything that I skipped over?
No, you got everything so far. I do want to mention, I believe that Aaron Pierre was paying homage to Tom Cruise the way he was running after that guy.
Yes, he did have the very tight arms.
Yes, I was like, okay, so this man's been watching some Tom Cruise movies.
He was like, he had them arms put tight and pumping.
Yes.
And I didn't know if that was just a military run. I was like, but this is very Tom Cruise.
I mean, it does keep your body tighter together, but when I saw it, all I thought of was Tom Cruise.
Same page, exactly the same thing. I even stated that out loud. Yes, so the alien, well, we don't know it's an alien, but the person, human-ish, takes off running, and John knocks him out. He's arrested by Sheriff Carey and the deputies. And Hal's kind of like, thanks for not telling Hal's basically how thanks for jumping in, because he didn't.
Yeah.
But Hal's like, let's go get a drink, let's go to the bar. Hal conjures up a $20 bill to play the same song over and over in a jukebox, and we find out that this is in an effort to get the locals to fight him so he can get thrown into the prison / jail to interview the suspected alien, because Sheriff Carey is not letting him talk to the alien. So he's trying to get into the jail cell to talk to this alien. So he's playing the song over and over again. In the meantime, they're sitting at the bar, John and Hal, talking, and he finally goes into the full story, which I kind of like that. Due to their relationship, I think had they only been trained for 2 months, 6 months, one of those.
It was one of
Monthly.
those. Less than a year.
Yes, as I say, basically they haven't been together very long. So it is kind of believable that he doesn't know the exact story of how he was chosen as Green Lantern.
Correct.
So they do the monologue. They do this for the audience to know how Hal got picked. Instead of showing us a backstory of Hal getting picked, it's just a real quick kind of drunken tale by Hal. I don't know if he can even get drunk, but he does it. The locals finally call him out. He says to John, listen, don't intervene. I'm trying to get myself thrown into jail. And John's real quick to be like, okay.
Yeah, wasn't planning on it.
Wasn't going to jump in. Like, that's fine. I will say, I do agree with the tweet that somebody said, what has Hollywood been doing with Kyle Chandler for the last?
I saw that and
Exactly.
I agree.
Because he's so fun to watch in everything that you've ever seen him in.
Yeah.
And so, in the meantime, while he's getting his butt kicked at the bar, a woman is hitting up John and kind of, just teasing him about the ring and, being a space cop and all this kind of stuff. And they quickly move to.
It's moving quick. I was like, all right. I mean,
even Hal was impressed. They moved to the truck.
Respect the hustle.
They are instantly having sex, and Hal is arrested by Sheriff Perry and her deputies. They go back to the truck, they have sex, and the next day you find out that the sheriff kept Hal in a broom closet to keep him away because she, again, not being dumb, she was like, I know what he was doing. I kept him in a broom closet to keep him away from the suspected alien. And Hal is arraigned, and a lawyer arrives to help him, and the lawyer ends up being the sheriff's husband. And I know the last name is Macon. I can't think of what his name is.
It is. Am I?
No, I know the patriarch is Will Macon, and I can't remember what the
Will, Billy.
Anyways, the sheriff's husband.
Is it Zoe? Zoe.
Okay. Well, that's yes. Okay. But Hal's told that Will Macon, the patriarch of this family, is a big fan, and the only thing he wants out of Hal retaining this lawyer in Nebraska, is just go over to the ranch and have supper. Well, we find out that the ranch is like a militia outpost.
Yeah.
And when they arrive, Carrie says she warns them that the Macons are not a family you want to be in debt to. She seems pretty miserable being there. She's not happy about this. And kind of Hal kind of deduces pretty quick that or at least he suspects that Will Macon is the face of he's serving as the face of the criminal enterprise, right? That you were playing patsy to whoever this ranch belongs to.
Yes.
But what you find out is that Will Macon just talks about how basically they're fearing colonization, hence the militia, and that they are afraid that the aliens that did show up are an advanced team for this colonization. And he says that they'll let Hal interview the alien, but we never know really what is the quid pro quo at this moment. John realizes after he meets Zoe Macon that he slept with, in fact, Will Macon's wife.
Yeah.
And Hal gives him credit. He says, we've only been here 24 hours. I'm impressed. So it's a big cluster already.
A lot going on.
A lot going on. So Hal does get to interview the alien. And does a pretty good job of covering up the fact that he is an alien, even when being kind of trolled with you're from rural Nebraska, that's your only opinion on Barack Hussein.
Genuinely, I believe the interrogation scene was the greatest scene in the first episode. I thought Kyle Chandler did a great job. I thought the camera angles kind of showing. I thought everything about the scene. I thought the setting with seeing the angle from behind the glass,
Mhm.
with Jon Stewart and Sheriff Carey watching, going back and showing Hal and the alien talking, putting the camera angle, seeing both of them, switching to just Hal, just the alien. I thought all of that was so good. It added to the suspense. Whatever music was playing hit really well. And then, yes, the alien not having an opinion on Barack Hussein Obama in Nebraska, it just was great. But then just even the other questions he asked him, like the way that he answered the questions, like, oh, who's the president? Oh, Barack Obama. And then as
Mhm.
he digs deeper into, oh, well, there was controversy surrounding his birth certificate, and oh, well, this, or oh,
Right.
I like football. Like him answering all of the questions
Yeah, like what house is
correctly.
Harry Potter from? You know, what has
Exactly. Like
like
just all of that was so good.
yes, that he very much is like he understands that this alien has been sent to the specific area and has been giving the information that would be really relatable to the specific area. But anything outside of that, he has a very surface level knowledge of, or maybe not even at all. So because he
Yeah.
doesn't understand, doesn't know what house Harry Potter was in. Um, he has a very, like I said, he just rattles off that Barack Obama was the 45th president,
Yeah.
44th president, and that, like, but he doesn't, he's like, and that's your only, he's like, you're from rural Nebraska.
That's the
Your
only thing.
only
He's like, well, there
opinion.
was some controversy surrounding his birth. Like you could see the cracks starting to
Right.
crack. And it was so good because yes, like the guy answered all of the questions, most of the questions correctly, but the way that he answered them let you know that something was up. You asked
Yes.
him who the president was. He told you who the president was,
Right.
but that's all you knew.
Yeah. Like he was accessing a file
Yes.
on all of this stuff and like trying to go like, okay, if I'm ever questioned, these are the answers I've got to give. Um, there's really kind of Hal really isn't rattled until the alien starts mocking his oath, his Green Lantern oath, and
Yes.
is replying it back or restating it back to him in very mocking terms. And that's when Hal Jordan loses it, and we find out that in fact the alien does have like a bomb inside of him. And that's when he goes up against a and says, Harry Potter's from Hogwarts, or like, or
Yeah.
yeah, this is from Hogwarts, And he throws him across the room, contains the explosion, which throws everybody back, and that's where we're left as far as 2016.
That is a massive explosion. Like that would have taken the block out.
Massive explosion. And that's really all we're given for 2016. And then it
Yes.
fast forwards again. Oh, the alien does say that he's there for war and vengeance, and which is basically why that's why they were keeping quiet, because to this peacekeeping corporation, as far as the Green Lanterns go. So we're here for basically
Yeah.
war and vengeance. We don't know why. That's it. That's all we know. Flash forward to 2026. John is back in Rushville, driving back to Rushville during appears a snowstorm, but we do get a glimpse that the farm has or the ranch has been destroyed.
Is that what that was?
My thought was that it was the gate with the M on it that you get a good view of.
Okay.
So clearly something has happened in Rushville since the time that we left and that we just saw in 2016, and that now we're back in 2026. And you can tell that Sheriff Carey calls him back. And what we do find is that Hal is, yeah, I believe it's a bullet hole in his head, yes. Bullet hole in his head, in the bleachers, dead, sitting there like we saw him originally in Rushville, and his ring is missing. Neither John Stewart has the ring, nor does Hal have the ring. Now, I think it's a little weird because I don't think the controversy isn't where is the ring, because we know who has the ring at this point. It's Guy Gardner. because he's
Oh,
Green
duh.
Lantern. So the mystery isn't going to be surrounding who has the ring because we know it, but it's going to be more of why doesn't John have a ring?
If
And they
that
kind
is
of give him a
actually
little,
John,
huh?
if it's actually John.
Right.
At one
And
point
why?
in the interrogation, when they were talking about how they scanned him and he wasn't an alien, they said there are 14 species that can emulate, replicate a human, and our machines would never be able to tell.
Right.
Is that a shapeshifter that was killed in the shape of John Stewart? Maybe.
Or how?
Or Hal?
Right. I
I
mean,
don't
we
know.
know Superman is one.
We do know
So,
Superman is one. Yes.
but right now we know that Guy Gardner, because if you saw Superman, obviously he's Green Lantern at the moment. So yeah, it's going to be a mystery of kind of like what happened in those 10 years between those two for, all of this to be going on. I really enjoyed the show. I felt I enjoyed it because I felt this is going to sound really bad. Don't hate me out there, people, because you couldn't feel James Gunn's fingerprints.
I'm not even mad. I respect that answer and I don't disagree. I know there is controversy surrounding it. I also enjoyed the episode, but I understand, like I said, I'm a fan of Green Lantern,
Sure.
but I think a lot of people have been wanting, because there is a large Green Lantern fan base, a large Hal Jordan fan base, and I
Mhm.
can understand why, if this is your, not your first, but your most recent iteration of one of your favorite heroes, and he seems like uh not a drunk, but like a hungover, not really superhero,
Right.
that would annoy you. Now, that being said, I think there are different iterations of these characters, but some people are calling it character assassination, blah blah blah. I
Which is
see where you're coming from, but I disagree. I also am okay with taking a different approach to some of these characters, just because, I mean, how many times are we going to get the same Spider-Man, and how many times is Batman going to lose his parents? Like, I enjoy switching it up a little bit, but I can understand. Like, I'm a huge Static Shock fan. I've been waiting for Static Shock to make his entrance into the DC live action universe, but apparently James Gunn there said there's some issues with the licensing, whatever. I love Static Shock. I believe that I would be bummed if they finally get Static Shock and I get a depressed, angry, cynical version of Static. Like, I'd be like, well,
right.
what is this? But for me, being a casual Hal Jordan fan, I thought it was good. But as a fan of superheroes and a fan of good writing and good filming, I loved it.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's no different than when we have Into the Spider Verse, and the first one of the first Peter Parkers we see is a fat, out of shape kind of you know,
Going through a divorce.
right? Like it's just proof that just because you have a certain idea in your head of what the superhero should look like, there are a multiverse of different characters and how they're portrayed. And this is what we're getting showing the two of them. And I don't have a problem with it because again, it's written well.
Yeah, agreed.
So, I
Like,
mean,
truly.
and even if he's a kind of a like the alien even says to him, "Are you think you're kind of wanting to die? How?" And maybe he is. Maybe he's like, "This is such a crushing burden. I'm tired of it. And even though I know my time is up, I'm still. It's still not a fun place to be at the end of your career and know that
Correct.
somebody young is up and coming and taking your place. But then at the same time, I'm also ready to give it up. I mean, I think it's a very human feeling for anybody that gets older. Like, I'm tired. Like, I'm tired of working, but I see people encroaching on my job. I don't want, So, I mean,
The Ben
I enjoy,
Roethlisberger, Aaron Rodgers syndrome.
yeah, any athlete, that you can possibly name, they all, hate it. But yeah, from a good writing standpoint, I actually quite enjoy the chemistry between these two people. I
Same.
think, I think it's been done well. I love Kelly McDonald. As far as Sheriff Carey,
Yeah.
she's so fun. She's so cutting. And I think it's going to be great to find out what the actual mystery of all of this is.
That's where I was going next. There are 8 episodes, and this is something that you and I have talked about at length because a lot of the shows that we've been reviewing over the last 2, 3 years we've been doing this podcast is, can a show tell a full story and stick the landing in 8 to 10 episodes, which is the amount that we've normally been podcasting about? And again, I say it every time, I hate to keep bringing it up, but if we're going to be talking about a mystery show, we look at something like The Acolyte and you had 8 episodes. How do you spend those
Right.
8 hours telling this mystery?
Right.
I really enjoyed this first episode for me going forward. Like the actors all seem solid. The the music was great. The filming was really well shot. For me, if you were making a true crime, true detective series and you've got 8 episodes, I want to know, how are you going to roll out and tie up different things in the mystery? Are you going to solve the mysteries by halfway, episode 4, and then spend the rest of the 4 episodes kind of tying up the consequences of those four, kind of like Spider Noir did? Are you gonna slowly roll them out, kind of just you open it, you close it, you open it, you close it? Like that's what I'm most looking at and curious about. But as far as the casting and everything else, I'm a fan.
It's it's a pleasant surprise. I'm glad that it is again, it is funny, but it's not a like chuckle moment. There's just things that you're just like that's like when you discover that, you know, John has slept with the thing and Hal
Right.
is like Hal is impressed. It's like,
Yeah.
what's all that
There's
about? And I'm
enough
like,
to keep you laughing, but it's not like a full-on comedy. They've balanced it really well. And to your point, it's a DC show that doesn't have James Gunn's fingerprints all over it. As harsh as that may sound, take a step back and think about what she said just now, and is she wrong? Because I think that's the best way to sum it up.
is it yes, is that it doesn't it feels there's a reason the Batman was probably better than Superman. And
I'm waiting until we get a needle drop of some deep cut song. I'm like, ah, there it is. There it
right.
is.
And it's like, that's fine. If he wants to just pick out a song or two, that's fine, but just stay away. I don't
Yeah,
know if he's capable of doing like a true detective type of show in this. And I think that as long as the writers have that goal in mind, I'm I want them to stick with it and just have it a mystery. Because like I said, we know who has the ring, but like give us the mystery of those 10, like clearly something happened in those 10 years for it all to kind of go to shit.
for sure.
So we're gonna stop talking about that now. We're gonna kind of talk about now D23 thoughts. We did a couple trailers out of some pretty good ones, or at least I know we got Vision Quest trailer.
Yes.
Did we get a trailer for Starfighter? I have to be honest, I don't know if I saw it or not.
Yes, we did.
Okay, so you
I
can tell me
actually
about that. Did you see it?
I saw it. It didn't give away a ton. I don't know if it was a full trailer or it was just like
Just a
uh,
teaser?
it was a teaser or it was like someone filming and it was basically just like Ryan Gosling's character talking to a kid and he like took the cover off this spacecraft and was like, "Oh, I've never seen one of these before," something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And Ryan Gosling was like, "Yeah, there's a reason for that." I didn't see a whole lot about it. I'll be honest, I had D23, I've been waiting for it all year, and then of course they picked the one weekend where I was like busy every evening. Like I was out till 3 in the morning the night of like all the announcements, and you were like sending me stuff, and I was like, I can't even watch this right now.
I know they did have an Ahsoka season 2
I
trailer. I
saw the
haven't seen
Ahsoka
much about
trailer,
them.
very excited for that.
I'm very
Hayden
excited for Vision
Christensen is
Quest.
back. I'm excited. You said you're excited for Vision Quest?
I am.
I'm excited for it. I'm not going to
Because
say
we
off-put
paper.
because that sounds terrible, but it wasn't exactly what I was expecting. That being said, you look at the other 2 shows that are connected to it, Agatha and
WandaVision.
WandaVision, those were two different shows that I
Yes.
enjoyed. So I'm trusting it, but like I'm gonna watch it, I'm gonna be seated, but I watched the trailer and I found myself going, "What?" Too many times.
I love James Spader. I love the idea of all of everybody that makes up Vision inside of his head, which is living in this house. You know, you have Friday and Edith and Ultron, and
Yes.
I think they even have you and it's dumb. Is it Dum Dum? Dum. Um, the one other robot that Tony Stark is always insulting.
Yeah, that one. It is Dum Dum is what he called it.
Yeah. Those are all in there, and I think interesting because now we have the other piece of the puzzle as far as the other son of Wanda and Vision coming into play. I'm looking forward to it because again, Paul Bettany and James Spader, like it's going to be really tough to screw this up.
Agreed.
Now, can they? Sure. I mean, they had Don Cheadle.
Ultron, Edith, Friday.
Yes,
Forgot about Edith. Sorry,
yes.
continue.
I mean, can they screw it up? Absolutely. I mean, they had Don Cheadle and Janet Samuel Jackson in Secret Invasion, so yeah, they can screw it up. I'm hoping they don't.
I'm hoping they don't. I'm bummed outside of just being confused. And again, this was not me writing off the show. It was me not, the trailer didn't look like what I expected, but at the
Right.
same time, I don't know what I expected. I think my biggest issue is that it's 2026. WandaVision, that was so long ago. And Agatha wasn't that,
2020?
Agatha was last year. I think it was 20, was it during COVID?
British 2020 or 2021?
Like it was 5 or 6 years ago.
Yes.
Again, obviously, if you're gonna watch Vision Quest, it means you have Disney, so rewatch it, maybe rewatch the last
Right.
few episodes when White Vision showed up. I'm planning to, but there is a part of me that's like, again, you don't want to solely survive on the hype train, but I'm like, you guys have lost a lot of hype for
This,
this movie.
yeah, you're gonna be hoping that like, yes, yeah, you are. Like you're especially like it considering it's like the side quest before Doomsday comes out, which is odd.
Yeah,
So yeah, yeah, it's a little bit direct. But the big news was they interviewed some of the new X-Men.
listen,
I will say, shocked, shocked that they got Adam Driver to finally be involved in the MCU. And of course, he's going to be Mr. Sinister, which is like God tier level casting for
outstanding.
because of the voice, the just I don't want him killed. I want him to be a villain that hangs around a while. In fact, I would love for the X-Men saga to have multiple villains that are never killed off, that they're always just kind of fighting these same guys over and over again.
That would be the
I would love
most
it.
that would be the most X-Men, well, even not even X-Men, that'd be the most superhero thing ever. Um,
You didn't because you didn't kill Galactus, so don't kill
yeah.
for fantasy support, don't kill him.
No, I looked at the cast and for the most part, to me, I won't say they're unknowns, but they are not mega stars. Like obviously Sadie Sink is big because she did one of the biggest shows in the last
Sure.
20 years. But I won't say she's a mega star. Maya, I forget her
Boyd,
name. Void
Maya
Boyd,
Boyd.
that's playing
She's a theater.
Storm.
She's actually a broad theater. She's in theater, which
Yes,
all
and
the credits to her. She must have blown them away.
I I was putting a lot of stock into who was going to play
Yes,
Storm. There
me
was a lot
too.
of people I wanted. I am not upset that she was cast. I wish she had more movie acting, but I'm also very much okay with the casting because if you're a good Broadway actor, you're a good actor. And Storm is very visual
Theatrical.
with the way that she talks and do
She's very
so I think
theatrical.
getting
She is very
Yes.
theatrical.
So I
Yes.
think getting a seasoned Broadway actor, I think is a good choice. I think
And
that's
I
a
kind of like
great
that
choice.
she doesn't have a lot of filmography behind it, so people can't pick her apart before she's on screen.
Yes.
Um, yeah, I mean, you have Samara Weaving, who's Emma
Emma
Frost. I mean,
Frost.
it's a good cast. Um, was don't know actually the one I don't know the most about. I mean, outside of Maya Boyd, like you said, she doesn't have filmography, but you know, she's in theater. Is the guy who is going to be playing Professor
Professor
X.
X. Agreed.
But again, I'm okay with a lot of unknowns.
Me too. No, I couldn't agree. You want the big names to be a draw,
But that's
but
what
at the
Adam Driver
same
is.
exactly. I was gonna
Right.
say they got one. He's the villain. I'm okay with these more unknown actors who are wanting to cut their teeth and make a name for themselves and are gonna have that passion and that excitement. I'm here for it. And obviously, Rogue, hey,
Oh
I'm
yes, Indy Navarette. Yeah, we can't forget her.
I
And then
am
just anybody that hasn't seen Obsession yet, if you're wanting to know what kind of acting skills she's going to bring to this, just check out the movie. Like even if horror is not your thing, I think you will appreciate how good she is in it.
I have heard so many, and I'm not a horror fan. I've said that many times, and you'd be like, "Will, didn't you watch Welcome to Dare?" I'm like, "Well, I did, but that's because my co-host wanted me to." And honestly, I'm glad that I did. I have loved the show. They just released a little teaser for the new season, but
Yes,
I was already planning
I
on
do
watching
watch
it.
things like that.
I was already planning on watching Obsession because I have truly had heard nothing but good, great things. And then when they revealed her as Rogue, I was like, well, this movie just shot to the top of my list. I have to watch it now. Some people are upset that she is not a pure white Southern belle, but for me, I don't care.
She
Hold
must
on.
have done something during the audition, so I'm ready to see it, and that's 2028. It'll be here before you know it. I think there's going to be
Just a second. Sorry. He paused. Someone just came to my front door, ringing my
oh, when me
doorbell.
had was. But yes, super pleased with young just seeing this young crew, and like I said, they what I was about to say is there are three movies on the slate for 2028 now. I believe we have Ghost Rider, X-Men, and then Black Panther 3.
Yes.
And those are the three for 2028. So I'm happy. I mean, like, yeah, it's three movies, but it's three pretty decent movies coming out of.
You're gonna break records with X-Men. That is huge. Ryan Gosling will be a huge draw for Ghost Rider. I'm very curious what route they take with that. And then, why am I blanking on the third one?
Black Panther 3.
And then Black Panther. Oh my God. And then Black Panther 3. Like,
I'm not saying anybody's card should be taken away.
yeah. I think like those are going to be massive draws, which Disney and Marvel is desperate for, just because they haven't had I mean, I'd like not to say everything is flopped, but I think that outside of Spider-Man, there haven't been a ton of massive successful movies. I think Thunderbolts, I think in the end did finish making money, but it wasn't like an Avengers level box office. And then obviously Captain America, Brave New World. It didn't flop. It didn't, it
Right.
wasn't anything crazy. But I think Black Panther, X-Men, and then Ghost Rider, those are going to be huge. One thing they did not announce. The joke is Hugh Jackman's going to be forced to come back. They did not announce who is playing Wolverine yet,
I know.
or Magneto.
And I'm
Um,
wondering if they're holding off on that until Secret Wars.
they're holding off so that Pedro Pascal can do it.
Well, I mean, there is a rumor that he doesn't survive Doomsday.
No, it's gonna be RDJ. That's who's gonna be Wolverine. Just gonna keep cycling.
Just bring Daphne Keane back and let her be
I'm
X-23
I'm
and
here for that. I'm here for
right?
that. She fits the age because that's the other thing. They're going a lot younger for these actors, which again,
You should.
you should. We not need to move on, but the X-Men's that we grew up with in the 2000s, all of those actors are a lot older now. Their roles, I mean, obviously some of them are still going to be in Doomsday and all that, but like
Right.
it's time for a reset.
Yes, it is.
And then the first class, those characters aren't being brought over, but like you want them to be younger. So yeah, I
It's time because it's the same reason that you cast Tom Holland, back
yep.
in when he was 21 looking 15. There's a reason that you grabbed
Robert
him.
Pattinson as the Batman. I mean, and again, he's older, but he has a younger looking face. They are
Right.
realizing that they want to go younger. That makes sense.
Yeah.
It's the
You
right
went
move.
10 years with these people. You
Yeah.
gotta you gotta get people that aren't in their I mean now Samara Weaving, I believe, is in her 30s, but she might be playing an Emma Frost that's already like heading up Hellfire Club.
Established. Yeah.
Right. Like she might have already been out of the X-Men and with another group at the,
I
by
think
the
she's a
time.
great casting. I think she's kind of been glossed over. I've seen her in a few, well, Ready or Not, Over Your Dead Body, and a few other movies. I'm a fan of her casting for Emma Frost. I think she'll do a great job.
I mean, I don't have a problem with it. I'm looking forward to it. It'll be interesting seeing like more casting choices come out because I think they said that the one fell through for the guy who's going to play Beast, that he decided to not do it.
Yeah.
But we still have Magneto. I do love that Adam Driver teased that. Did you see the video?
Mm-mm.
You should watch the video from D23 when Adam Driver, they pull up the video of Adam Driver announcing who he's going to play. And he's like, I've been told I'm going to play Magneto. And then, like, everybody erupts and he's like, no, wait, that's wrong.
I love it. No, it's funny because I remember he's a big fan of the Comic-Con type of things. And years ago, he walked around in his not Darth Vader, whatever his character was from Star Wars, Kylo Ren, but he had to keep the mask on the whole time. They would not allow him to take the mask off because they said if they found out that Kylo Ren was walking around the regular grounds, it would have shut the whole thing down. And he said he hated it. He said he always wanted to do, he loved Comic-Con, but he hated doing that. And just the
It's
way
like
he
what
was,
Ryan Reynolds did
yeah,
for
yeah,
Deadpool.
with his Jean Grey Deadpool
Mhm.
suit. So I'm excited that he gets to be back in a major franchise after the most recent Star Wars trilogy. I think he's a great actor. He will play, like you said, perfect casting. I think there were a lot of really good announcements. It kind of makes me wonder why do you guys even still show up to Comic-Con? Which I hate saying that because I think you should use D23 to talk about your Frozens and your Toy Story 17 and all of that, and you should still make Comic-Con that what it used to be. But again, a lot of announcements that we were waiting for. I'm I'm walking away from it excited.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think the Comic Con you need to reserve for the comics,
Yeah,
all of the comic stuff, all of the comic stuff. Put everything else for D23. Everything else in your loaded, shove it into D23. Like you can't the splitting up and doing half season. Just I'm not a fan of that. I think just say one for one and the other for the other. And if you realize that people are showing up to one and not showing up to the other, well, maybe you need to up the other's games.
exactly.
There's a reason that like even though people claim there's superhero fatigue, we're not seeing it. We're not seeing it, people. As long as there is a good movie. In fact, I'm hoping that when Doomsday comes out, more love is given retroactive to Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four. I hope people go back and they're like, "Whoa, you know what?
Shang-Chi as well. I want I
Yes,
like That
We
one,
slept
and
on
I
these
know,
movies,
yes,
and I'm glad. Let's go back and watch them. They did release like a must watch.
yes.
Secret word. They have a whole list. I don't have the list in front of me what it included, but um, I know that if we
Lucky
start
for
to run out of
me and
content
you,
here, we will cover those.
yeah. They released that must-watch list, and I remember looking at it and be like, well, this will just be rewatches for me because I didn't skip
Right.
anything. I've been a
Yeah,
loyal Marvel
exactly right.
disciple.
Yeah, I haven't. Yeah, I haven't missed anything, so it'll just be a bunch of watching it over again
Yeah,
and like okay, and like trying to figure out what's going to be pulled from why am I watching this and instead of something else for Doomsday. But
for sure.
got my tickets for that. You got your tickets for
I
Doomsday.
got my tickets for Avengers Doomsday. I got my tickets for Doomsday hour and a half
You
ago.
got your tickets for you didn't get your tickets for Endgame Encore. Nobody does it, right?
I got my tickets for Doomsday. I did not get my tickets for Endgame. I don't. I'll go see Endgame again in theaters. It's supposed to come out like next month.
September 25th.
Yeah, But no, I got my tickets for Doomsday. Got my tickets for Dune all on the same day. Can't wait for that.
It's crazy. And I am not. I can't go see it on Thursday because I'm at on the radio show. So I have to wait until
No, no,
Friday.
no, I got it for Friday.
Oh, you're not going Thursday. Thursday.
No, I was going to, and then ended up not. So I'll see
I'm kind
Friday
of
morning.
shocked.
I know. It is what it is. But yeah, I'll see Doomsday first at like 2 o'clock, 2:15, and then
Yeah.
Dune at 7. It's a long day at the theater, but that is the exact same theater where I did my Star Wars marathon. So two movies
I'm gonna say you should be like, listen,
that's nothing.
nothing compared to what I did before. All right, well, we're gonna leave it there. There's a little bit. So we really like Lanterns. Looking forward to seeing how that show turns out, how it evolves. Love the casting for it. Think it's great. Love the
Yes,
storyline that it's kind of different. It's not. It is built around superheroes, but it has a story. So, and that's always what we just care about is just give us a story, and
exactly.
then just let it happen to be that there's superheroes involved. That's when the show comes
100%.
into it. And then a little bit of D23. So there you have it. And we will see all of you. Thank you all. Bye.